Hey guys, so here we're going to be doing a review of the brand new Vince Staples album, Ramona Park Broke My Heart. This is the brand new 5th studio album from California rapper Vince Staples, coming less than a year after his self-titled album, which came out last year, and also marked a fairly prolific shift in his career, switching from less hard-hitting, less experimental production that he utilized on albums like Summertime '06 and Big Fish Theory, and letting loose with some more minimal and more simplistic production that also gave way for his vocals, his rapping, his lyrics to shine more, and that to me is what really stood out about the self-titled album. Because while I do love the production on Big Fish Theory, I think that the experimental production from producers like Flume and Sophie really made Vince's vocal shortcomings and weaknesses a bit more apparent, as I don't think his rapping, his style really suited this production. But with the more minimalistic production on the self-titled album, that gave way for his vocals to shine more and for his lyrics to stand out a bit more, and I think the more minimalist production suits his style more. And this album, this new album, Ramona Park Broke My Heart, embarks on that even more, to the point where there is some more minimal, less experimental, less hard-hitting, in-your-face production, but still to the point where it's actually quite colourful on quite a few tracks here. Now, yes, if you are not a fan of the self-titled album or you found it boring, you're probably not going to be too big of a fan of this one, as just like the self-titled, the production is not as hard-hitting, like I said before, and makes way for a more substantive approach from Vince himself, lyrically and vocally, as well as a bit more personality, more introspective, as the theme of this record is literally Ramona Park, the area he grew up in, how it basically broke his heart, and how he now perceives it, and what it's done to him, how he thinks things because of these environments he was once living in, which is present on quite a few tracks here. And while, yes, there are still those moments where Vince's ability is a little bit too low-key or not going hard enough, and this is present on tracks like Slide, Player Ways, and Mama's Boy, as well as the song DJ Quick, which, if you're a fan of Vince more for his production, or you're a fan of albums like Summertime '06 and Big Fish Theory, this track might be the closest to having more experimental production, as we got production here from DJ Quick with the DJ scratching, and I do really like the chords here. I think the production of this song is great, but lyrically it just isn't substantive enough and ends too abruptly. And then we had the other tracks I mentioned, such as Mama's Boy, which lyrically I think is pretty good and is quite sentimental, like a lot of tracks here, but Vince really under-delivers here, and I feel like the instrumental doesn't have enough going on for it. So yes, there are tracks here that do kind of under-deliver with Vince, but there are other tracks here that deliver really well and embark on a lot of the elements that I loved about the self-titled, more personal, more introspective, with more low-key but still clean production. But I think it takes it another step further on some of these tracks, to the point where the production is quite colourful on certain tracks. You have songs like A, Free the Homies, where the production is kind of mixed between something a little bit more of a low-key, underrated banger, as well as something from maybe J. Cole's 2014 Forest Hills Drive, sentimental track about Vince realizing that no matter how important he thinks money is, or the things that he has now gained as a result of his success, he will never forget the true people who have always stood by him, who have always been with him, and he'll never leave them behind, which is a very down-to-earth and wholesome thing for a rapper like Vince Staples to do. And yet on the track PAPERCUTS, he literally is talking about money, basically saying that with the amount of money he could get paper cuts, but the true meaning of the song is that he basically has enough money to be able to do this, do that, do what he wants, and never be able to get himself in a position where he feels down, like he did at a lot of parts in his life living in these conditions, except for when it comes to his friends, of course, like he mentioned on A. We have the song When Sparks Fly, which might be one of my new favorite Vince Staples songs. The production here is very minimal, but also kind of cathartic. It kind of gives me trip-hop kind of vibes with the low-key drums, but with the echoing effect, as well as the vocal sampling here. And the lyrics here make it come across as a love song, a sentimental track, but in actuality, Vince is talking about his gun. Yeah, his gun, and the things he's been through with it, and how his gun has allowed him to get through tough situations. But the way he personifies the gun to make it sound like he's talking about an actual relationship is very clever here. We also have the song East Point Prayer, which production-wise, very clean, very smooth. I love the lyrical message of this track. And then we have Lil Baby on the back end, who provides a really fitting verse here that really suits the instrumental, and he really comes through on here, and it makes me wonder, why haven't Vince and Lil Baby collaborated in the past? Because Baby does a great job here. We have the song Lemonade as well, which not my favorite track in terms of the production, but Ty Dolla $ign provides a really nice vocal interlude here, or not interlude, but chorus here. So yeah, that's the other thing this album has going on, is while the features are quite limited, we only have Lil Baby, Ty Dolla $ign, and DJ Mustard. I think they all do a pretty fitting job. DJ Mustard, especially on songs like Magic, which is another one of my favorite Vince Staples songs, or another one of my favorite songs here, as lyrically the song's about showing that Vince Staples, given where he grew up, that the success he has now obtained should never have happened, given the situations he was in, and considers that to be more than just lucky, considers it magic because of how unlucky and harsh the situations he was once in was. And Mustard does a great job with the chorus and a verse at the end, and the production here is, again, low-key, but sounds so good, too good to ignore. We have the final two tracks here, Rose Street and the Blues, which I think is a very great closing to the album. While the middle may not be perfect, it has a couple of duds in there. The start is great, the end is great. We have Rose Street, which again details this relationship that Vince was in, and him questioning a relationship that clearly made Vince start questioning what real love is and what it's not, and contrasting love for a person or intimacy with the idea of your roots and his upbringing in Ramona Park. And then we have the song Blues, which is a great closing, very subtle production, and I think the lyrics here are very clever. So yeah, overall, would I say this is my favorite Vince Staples album? I'm not sure, but in terms of my favorite Vince Staples album, yeah, I think it's up there. And what I mean by that is basically when it comes to Vince Staples himself, the way he portrays himself here, the way he presents himself here, lyrically, sonically, and the way he delivers, I think he does really well. I think the production, while it's going to turn some people off, I think the production really works here, suits Vince Staples very well. Yes, it could have gone a little bit harder. Yes, it could have been a little bit less derivative or less generic on some tracks, and Vince himself could have done a bit better on some. There are some great highlights here. I love the concept of the album, and I cannot wait to see where Vince goes from here, if he's going to continue down this road to an even more conceptual project, or if he's going to go back to making more hard-hitting beats. Because while I did like the production of this early stuff, I think Vince here, he's clearly at his best artistically. He sounds the most focused, and I hope he can use that to get into a better position mentally. So that's why I'm feeling a flat 7 out of 10 on this new album. Well, that's going to do it for the review, so thank you guys for watching. If you guys enjoyed, let me know a like, comment, subscribe, tell me what you think of this album. What was your favorite track? What was your least favorite track? How would you compare this to Vince's other albums? Let me know, but until then guys, stay tuned for the next review, and I'll catch you guys later. Take care, bye-bye.